All right, so welcome to another video from the chart readers. I got a little busy this weekend, so making this a little later than usual, but we are going to do our weekly review of the majors. So as normal, we're going to start with the NASDAQ, then we will look at the S&P 500 as well as the Dow. So looking at the daily, we're going to use our moving averages as well as these horizontal support and resistance lines, and then wind it out with these lower indicators below. So a lot has really happened in this last basically week and a half of trading, and really the biggest day of it was 8/16. So on 8/15 it looked like we were gonna break one more horizontal line, right? So this 1306, you can basically call it 1300, right? The next day, again, I say this across a number of videos. When you break a line, you really need a couple day confirmation, especially at least one more day follow-up of just real confirmation, right? Because you can always break it, but it's really nothing more than a fancy test, right? So on the 15th, we broke it. However, on the 16th, we really didn't get as good a confirmation as ideal, right? A real confirmation would have had the day close above our previous day, right? That's what I call a confirmation, right? What ended up happening is we got this shape, this doji shape that I've mentioned a couple times, right? So that's uncertainty, right? Some people thought I was going to go really high up. Some people thought I was going to go really low down. It just kind of ended in the middle, right? As opposed to a really nice candle like this where it goes up, or hell, even a really bad one where it just literally goes down most of it, right? So the 1300 never really broke. And then from there, I mean, we've made our way below the 8 for a number of trading days, right? It looked like this 1225 might have saved us, but really it didn't. And if you watched last week's video, I said we really needed to stay over 1225 on by Friday, right? Because we'll look at the weekly shortly. So we did lose this on Friday, which sucked. It looked like the 100 was going to stop us. It really didn't. Right now, we're on the 200 on, or sorry, the 50 on the daily, right? We really need to get caught by this and bounce up, right? We really do. The RSI is kind of trying to be positive, but I mean, it all really is on this line right here. Hopefully we hit this and make another bounce up. I just really hate the fact that we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, literally 7 days below the 8 moving average, right? Overall, this doesn't look like a great MACD either. And like I said, we've been under the red for a bit on this RSI, but hopefully this kind of seems promising. Really, all I can say is this: tomorrow we need to open positive, and we cannot lose this 50. So that's at 1197 right here, right? If we lose the 50, I'm going to make a couple new lines down here. Well, I'm actually really not, because again, these are such powerful lines, but I'll at least mention that I think 11.7 looks like it might be something of importance. I'll draw these lines. Let's draw the lines. I don't think it'll hurt. I think we'll put one right here. Yeah, I like that one. And then I think we'll put one probably here, right? Because I think it'll hit one of these. No, I want to go just to the body right there. That's where I want to go. So a little higher than I want, but again, we're not looking for perfection, right? So I could see us, and again, I want to make this one red. I've named this guy our death line. So we do not want to go below 10.8. You know, we haven't talked about this 10.8 line really since June, maybe July. It seemingly looked like it was in the past, but at this point, unless we get caught by this 50, this is the strongest line. Obviously, I just made these two lines, but I'm going to get rid of these lines. Honestly, I really like the lines I have on this, and I don't want to clutter this. If you saw them, you can go back and use those numbers. I do think they're good numbers, but I'm going to keep this as is, just for my own reasonings. But let me look at the weekly real quick. So again, like I mentioned, we lost a very big line. We lost the 8, and we're right now sitting on the 20 on this weekly view, right? I really was hoping we would have closed above here to just kind of give us some hope that it might have bounced up, but we're no longer in this channel, right? This channel right here, we did a lot of up and down. It seemed like we broke it, but again, we can't lose the 20 on the weekly. We can't lose the 50 on the daily. Those are two really important things. And then from there, it looked like 11.7 and 11.2 were the numbers. I also remember talking about 11.5 and 11.3, right? So that's also really why I don't want to draw new lines. These are some pretty strong lines on the NASDAQ, and I feel really comfortable with them. And again, 10.8's our death line. We haven't talked about that in a bit. Let me move over to the SP 500. Again, almost the exact same chart, right? We came up. There was a combination of a support line, and on this one, it was actually the 200. Clearly, the 15th and the 16th were kind of the days where it looked like it wanted to break, but it didn't happen. And from there, we've been a number of days under the 8 moving average, right? Similarly, we're at a place where we need this 50 to catch us, right? We'll have another support line here. That's my cat in the back. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but sorry about that. A little scratch pad love. But really, again, same story, right? We need the 50 on the daily to save us. Let me come to the weekly real quick. Literally the exact same thing. We're actually sitting a little lower on the 20. If I zoom in, it looks like we're actually under the 20 on the weekly. So never a good thing. And that's actually a really ugly RSI on the weekly as well. This S&P 500 does not look that good. Again, a very similar story to the NASDAQ. In a lot of ways, that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? You do want a lot of correlation between the markets, but unfortunately, they are kind of bad in both their review. So, yeah, let's see if the DJ30, not the 39, the Dow Jones Industrial, literally, it's the exact same chart. And again, you see it. It peaks on the 16th, and it makes its way down from there, right? So, yeah, these were really big losses. They were, because what I'm actually going to do, and I wanted to do it really quickly on the NASDAQ, but we can do it here, and you'll see it, right? So we were looking at potentially breaking. Actually, this one was a little bit more. This one was a little bit further along, right? But you could see we actually broke the major downtrend, but it does look like we're losing it. I'm going to see if I can keep the zoom and kind of do the same view and see if I can use a roughly same line across the rest, right? Look at that. It's not quite the same. I would have adjusted this up. Let me actually, can I adjust this thing? I can't. Okay, let me just draw a new line. How do I do this? There we go. So this one was a little more up here, so it didn't quite get there. But again, close slope, right? It was a pretty close slope. And then again, I know for a fact on the NASDAQ, it was, I mean, almost to the line is where we were sitting. So let me take it from right here. You know, again, I'm using this point, and then as we worked our way through, it looked like there was a strong break of the downtrend. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case, unless we can bounce from the 50 and make another attempt at this line, right? So this was our first attempt since April. Not too bad, right? You need a few attempts before you can break it. But just right now, depending on how hard this rejection is, we might be working back down to this channel. Because again, we really only made one. There's a couple actually. There's a few tests there and then one test there. But we haven't been here since late June, whatever this date right here was. So overall, I think you can hear the caution in my voice. Be careful trading out there. If the 50 catches us tomorrow, make sure that there's confirmation the following day, right? The same rules apply on a catch that they do on a break. So trade safely, and obviously I would love for you to subscribe on YouTube if you haven't, and this is not financial advice, of course. Bye.